To implement user interactions, TilBuci uses a feature of actions defined in blocks. In this video, we'll learn a little about it. Let's start by using the scene we just created. If you close the program, you can access the scene again using the left menu scene open. The actions used to set interactions in TilBuci can be added in several places, the most common being on the click, tap of an instance. To check this, select the English button instance and, in the right Actions tab, click on Trigger Actions. All the interactions indicated here are executed on the click of the instance. To create an action block, you start by clicking the plus button in the Actions window to display the available options. The Action Groups list contains groupings that, when clicked, show the available actions in the list on the left. One of the most commonly used types of action is variable management. Variables are pieces of information stored within your creation that can be reused later in various ways. TilBuci manages variables of 4 types: strings, integers, floats, and booleans, true or false. As our first action, we will create a string variable called language and store the value, e, and when this button is clicked. To do this, from the string values, actions, and conditions group of actions, choose the set a string variable action. Several actions require certain information to be executed, which we call parameters. The action we have chosen needs 2 of these parameters. The first is the name of the variable to be defined, which we will indicate as language. The second is the value of the variable, which we will indicate as n. After setting this information, click the Set Action Block button to finally create the action. Back in the Actions window, we see that a block has been added. The text of this block begins with the number 1, which indicates the action order. We can have as many blocks as we want in an action, and this numbering makes it easier to keep track. Next, we see the name of the action, followed by the parameters in parentheses. If you click on the block, you can use the buttons at the bottom of the list to remove, edit, expand, collapse, or even rearrange the order of the blocks. Click OK to register the click action for this button, and we'll do the same for the Portuguese button, but this time setting the language value to PT. The use of variables is an essential feature of TilBuci and can be used for various purposes. In particular, string variables can store text to be displayed to the user, serving as a practical way to manage translations. Are you familiar with JSON files? They are texts organized within a layout that simplifies their reading. In TilBuci, we can use these files, which can be worked on in any simple text editing software, to store string variables and load their values when necessary. In the image, you see 2 very simple JSON files containing pairs of variable names and their contents. At the top, the texts are in English. Below, in Portuguese. Notice that the variable names, intro01, intro02, etc., are the same in both cases, but the content of each one is translated accordingly. Back in the software, access the Media menu and click on String and Array Files. We're going to upload those 2 JSON files we just checked. Let's go back to the actions of the English button. Create a block and, from the String Values Actions and Conditions group, select Load a String File. This action requires only one parameter, the name of the file to load. Enter only English, without the JSON extension. Click the Set Action Block to finally create the block. Select the newly created block and click the Expand button to view details, or simply click on the block with the middle mouse button. Here, we see that our action unfolds into 2 possible results. The file was loaded correctly, or an error occurred, for example, due to incorrect JSON formatting. Here, we can create additional blocks according to each situation. Let's start with a file loading failure. Let's just include an action to notify us about what happened. Create a block inside on error, and from the debug group, select Show a text on browser console. As a parameter, include the text error on loading English JSON file. This action is provided by a plugin. Plugins bring additional functionalities to TilBuci that go beyond those originally offered by the software. For these actions to work, the plugin needs to be activated. Click OK in the Actions window, and in the Movie menu, click on Properties. In the Movie Properties window, access the Plugins tab. Here, we see all the plugins available in our TilBuci installation. Let's enable debug and click Set Plugins to register this setting. For the JSON file to load successfully, we'll need to load the next scene of our movie. To do this, we'll need to create it first. We could do this in our workspace, but that would close our current scene. To work on more than one scene or even movie at the same time, we can add new workspaces by clicking the button in the left menu. In the new workspace, open our movie and create a scene called Intro. Back in our original workspace, let's open the English Buttons Actions window again and add a block from the Movie and Scene Handling group, Load a Scene, under On Success. We can then select our new scene as a parameter for this block. We will replicate these same blocks in the Portuguese button, adjusting the parameters accordingly. Now let's save, publish our scene. After that, we'll do a quick test. Right below the scene area, look for the play button. Click it to start a test. You'll see our scene, and when you click on any of the buttons, the intro scene will load, even if we haven't added any content to it yet. In this video, we learn the basic concepts of how actions work in TilBuci, and we also discover how to manage text files that can be dynamically loaded, simplifying the translation process. In the next video, we will see the creation of the second scene that will take advantage of these loaded texts.